rate and a second starport on the way, so he's going to go heavy science vessels, heavy medic marines, very anti-lurker, very, well, not as much anti-lurker, but very anti-mutalisk, but also helps against lurkers with those science vessels out there, basically hoping to irradiate the lurkers and weaken them enough so that your marines can just stomp all over them and not have to worry about using siege tanks. But I think with those lurkers there at the front, a few too many out there, Polite, at the very least, at home is somewhat safe. All those turrets out there will defend against those mutalisks. Has scans for lurkers. Has some forces down there as well. Additional firebat actually going to move out with those. At this point, it does look like he's finally put down his factory. I was going to say, unfortunately, gets caught pretty badly there. Oh man, going to get a nice irradiate off on those mutalisks. Unfortunately, apparently irradiated a very weakened mutalisk. But going to lose his entire ground force here. Has very few reinforcements coming in from the right side, but those are not going to be enough. Light would have been able to do a lot more if he'd actually radiated a fresh muta, because RorO really wasn't doing any splitting. Meanwhile, he's going to expand the upper right-hand position, natural expansion, so he's going to be on 4 bases. Light, meanwhile, going to expand to the 6, and he's leaving himself a little open because he lost a lot of his army. Still going to try to go for some attacks here, but I really don't think he has the army to try to split up because can't really afford to weaken himself at this point. Has his natural expansion fairly well defended. Still has some idea of force out there across the middle. Has some presence of the upper right that does deny the third of RorO's. But meanwhile, going to get his own third denied. Now RorO has an open position to go for an attack. Maybe try to completely force the cancel on that command center, lurkers and mutalisks and zerglings all over the place. So finally, RorO losing pretty much all of his mutalisks at this point, but still has some of his zerglings, still has some of the lurkers out there on the field. And they're going to go out there and do a mass amount of terrible, terrible damage. At the very least, says, oh, look at those irradiates on those lurkers. Ow, 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 ow. They just got to burrow and die. They burrow their own graves and die. That's horrible, really, now that I think about it. Burrow your own grave and then die in it. Sounds kind of mean now that I think about it. And Light looks like he's just even thinking of going for... Oh, look at that epic dodge. Marine going to go in there, might even get a kill or two. If he's lucky, as Zergling's actually going to go in there and try to prevent that. Not a single drone kill. Unfortunately, Nidus Canal's on the way now. RorO still doesn't have its third up yet, but neither has Light for that matter. Going to get attacked. You're going to try to back off. Losing a science vessel. Losing a second science vessel. Almost losing 3. Being pushed back all the way here. Trying to go for an attack. Siege tank's not helping out. Doesn't even look like he has siege tech. Or if he does, he's not utilizing it at the moment. Man, looking at how slow tanks fire in Brood War reminds me of how quickly they fire in StarCraft 2. It's like boom, 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 boom. He's like boom, boom, boom. A little bit more realistic actually in Brood War, I think, when you think about it. It takes at least a little while to reload the shells up. But we do see hatcheries being flung up all over the place by RorO. Upper right-hand natural 12 o'clock position as well. I think it's even a hatchery at the 6 o'clock position rather than what Light had there earlier. Looks like it was cancelled indeed. So Light is looking like he's being significantly boxed in. He's going to try to go for the natural at this point. Nidus Canals and Defilers in play now, though. This is going to put a stop to this completely. Going to get surrounded from the right side as the lurkers. He's going to try to back off, put himself in a slightly more advantageous position, but he's going to be forced to back off all the way, sacrifice his tanks, and at least help some of his army survive. Science vessels are radiating as many lurkers, but look at that humongous amount of lurkers right there. That is huge. All the radiates in the world are not going to be enough. Mines, really like the strategy here from Light, actually going for mines. In that mines really will help against lurkers at the mill around the field. He's going to go in there, try. Okay, I thought it was maybe a hatchery be put down at the 6. Maybe RorO was being particularly frisky. Has a bunch of drones waiting outside the upper right-hand natural to start mining. There's just, we have no orders. But his position, Light might want to start taking for himself, but he's going to be facing a Zerg getting his 4th and 5th base, but he still hasn't gotten his 3rd up, so he is in a significant amount of trouble. He's in trouble. He can pull himself out of it if he does it now. The window closes the more the game goes on, because having a Zerg managing to swarm you, having a very strong economy is a bad position to be in. Light trying to irradiate as much as he can, losing a lot of science vessels in the process, just being forced into corners because RorO at this point just pushing out lurkers and Zerglings and Defilers now. So staying on lair tech units with Defiler support. Gonna work on his Ultra Cameron. Just gonna work on his upgrades. Not even gonna bother getting Ultras yet. Just work on his tech, work on his gas, get the upgrades, then get a few ultras out there when the time is right, and yeah, steamroll with that. There is already an additional command center out there for Light, so you might try to float that up towards the 9 o'clock position. Does have a 6 o'clock position ready and mining. His main and natural still have a little bit, but not the best positions. Has 2 upgrades, while his opponents have Carapace 2 and Weapons 1 upgrades. And the Ultras should come out by the time 4-2 upgrades hit. And with Defiler support and Cracklings in there, and Light in a pretty bad position, this does look like this game is going to be swinging into RorO's favor significantly. But Light is a very resourceful player. Have seen him pull himself out of crazy positions before. Maybe try to go for drops. Nice play catching some Marines there. Light has pulled himself out of pretty bad positions with drop, but unfortunately it does seem like RorO has everything covered. Has lurkers at all positions to defend. Has Nidus Canals. So another beautiful play. Gonna catch every single science hustle. That is exactly what you want. Now just go for 1 Mutalisk and you're gonna find that all the science hustles will die. Mines being put down, but the vultures can't put down the mines fast enough. And they unfortunately die themselves as they try to do so. So this is a pretty bad position at this point to be for Light. Is mining off his 3rd base now, but RorO has his 3 to 5, and you got to think about the fact that RorO hasn't really lost that much. He's sacrificed forces, but every single move he's done, every single attack he's gone for, where he has lost units, was pretty much a calculated maneuver, except maybe a little bit early on where he lost a few too many Mutalisks, something like that. But now he's going to go for an attack here at this 9 o'clock position. Light did have his 4th base up, and mining, not the best of positions yet, but unfortunately no, not a single fire battle siege tank. Siege is going to cover him from the back. More Dark Swarm's going to cover that, and Defologist is going to come in close. Crackling's now going to come in close to that. Of course, the Cracklings themselves can't just kill a command center, and it looks like not going to quite manage to do that. But Light does go for dropships here. Dropships are what have saved him in the past. He's had some extremely clutch commando teams out there. Ultras with 4-1, so there always was right in the upgrades. And Mutalisk came in here, were killed before he managed to get every single science vessel. Light is going to go for a drop here at the upper right-hand position. He has done some beautiful things with that. Meanwhile, just trying to hold off the Ultras at the middle of the map. Defowers, however, in play. Firebats not managing to do too much. And Light does not look like he's going to be able to take out the hatchery. That's what you want to do with these clutch drops. You want to go and pick up hatcheries, but now he's being surrounded, trying to do some drop. Dark Swarm going to go in there, though. Trying to block with medics, but just not in the best of positions to be in. He's just going to lose all of this. Medics keeping him alive for a little bit longer, but with Zerglings attacking from Dark Swarm, not the best of positions to be. That's a very odd placed hatchery that the low right hand position, not mining anything there, but is in the position to do something. Maybe go for forces close by. I'm not quite sure exactly. Maybe try to go for a Nidus Canal that can allow him to quickly access the 6 o'clock position. Light is at the very least keeping up his economy at least a little bit, blockading off now because the Ultras all over the place. He's just trying to hold off. Light knows that if this game goes on for long enough, he might have a shot of getting back into it. Although RorO is having none of that, going for attack all over the place, trying to knock down buildings. Light the Very's trying to hold this off with siege tank support. And Marines coming from the back, of course, uselessly. Look at all those Ultralisks. Huge amount of Ultras. The Light just repairing that science supply depot like crazy. Unfortunately, the Ultras have gotten through at this point, and siege tanks are helping against this. But Marines also going to finish off these Ultras, but now Light has to get back his defense positions. He has admirably stayed in this match very well. Has done a great job. Meanwhile, now the 3 o'clock position has been picked up by RorO, mining there as well. And really, I still think that these drops are the only thing going to keep him in, possibly keep him in this game. But I'm just still wondering, is he going to have enough? If he's even going to have the forces to spare to go for some heavy drops, because he's defending the 6 and the 9 with his life. This 9 o'clock position is in its birth, but Cracklings and Ultralisks all over this drop. Not even close. Natural expansion, we won't get it broken into now. Siege is going to go and try to siege up. Marines at the bunker there at the front going to go down. Ultralisks. At this point, RorO is hitting the point where he can pretty much constantly produce forces, and even the 3/3 upgrades that Light has do not help against these Dark Swarms. He can produce Ultras. Light can hold off for a little while, but eventually he will get broken into once the Dark Swarms are in a large enough number. Light does look like he's going to get broken through. Still playing an admirable defensive game, I gotta say. RorO just rushing all over the place, has Ultras and Cracklings everywhere. Gonna finally expand towards the lower right hand position, and it's also expanding towards the 9. And I just think this mass expanding at this point from RorO is just a little bit too much for Light to handle. Light can't really risk an additional expansion, while RorO can expand all over the place, and just with the constant pressure that he's putting on, Light has to stay where he is, produce what he can. Unfortunately, this attack here from the south. Tank's going to get taken out. CV's being pulled off the line, trying to engage and blockade Ultra a little bit too late. No Dark Swarming to support it, not needed. Ultras and Zerglings breaking through. It looks like there's going to be attack at the 6 o'clock. Also, this 9 o'clock position getting it cleared up. All the SCVs is going to go down, and that's so critical. Light knows at this point his opponent all over the map, and he just does not have enough to get back into it. So RorO evening it up, and Light gonna sit in there thinking about what he has to do to get himself into the quarterfinals of this position. As I'm gonna go and have a sip of water because my throat feels all parched. GG guys, Ryan Shannon, this is listening. Hope you enjoyed.